In an effort to actually use my makeup and get to know my products, every single month I go through and I kind of make myself a monthly makeup basket. So I don't hold myself to the restrictions or constraints of saying I can only use what's in the basket, and typically things like brow products and concealers will stay in their drawer where they belong, but then the color products and things that I kind of need to test, like foundations and things like that, make it over here into the basket. So I kind of ask myself a couple of questions as I'm making this basket. And the first thing I ask myself are like, what videos do I plan on making this month? So I usually will gather everything up for specific videos so I can kind of get to know those products a little bit better before I talk about them. The next thing I do is, like, if I have a ton of products that are a similar type of product, whether that be like all, you know, like say I have a ton of NARS blushes, I'll maybe just pull all my NARS blushes in here and kind of use them throughout the month and decide which ones I want to keep and which ones I don't. Then kind of the same thing, say I have a ton of berry toned blushes, I'll pull all of those in there, I'll test out those berry tone blushes, and again, I will declutter the ones that I don't like. So constantly, this basket to me is kind of like a test as to whether or not I should keep something. And so at the end of the month, and actually as I am using these things, I have a bin next to my desk, and anytime I don't like something, I don't like how it looked on me, I don't like how it performed, I throw it into a declutter bin. And then once I'm done with that, I sanitize what I can and I give it to friends, and then anything else that's maybe expired or old, I just have to throw out. But that actually helps to keep my drawers a little bit cleaned out. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut now to the part where I show you everything that I decluttered, and then we'll be back to talk a little bit more about my basket, and then we'll build it. Then I have this little storage cube, and I throw everything throughout the month that I have tried and that I don't like or I know I'm not going to use. It goes in here. And then after that, I have to obviously sanitize anything that I can give away to friends, throw out anything that's just not hygienic. And there are definitely some things in there this month that I'm pretty sure are expired and I'm just going to have to throw out. So I'm not going to show you all of those products, but I'm going to show you the ones that I think you might find most interesting, so you can kind of get a gist of what I'm decluttering here. So the cap has come off in here somewhere, but this is the Kevin Aquan Glass Glow Face. This is just too dark for me, and it's also relatively sticky. And while I like hydrating, like look how shiny that is. Like I love products like that. It's just too sticky for my skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass that on. Along the same vein and the same coloring is this Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid. Unfortunately, these are discontinued. I do have some in some other shades that I'm gonna continue to use and keep. But again, this is too deep for me. It needs to go to somebody with a medium to deep skin tone. That's the rose gold shade, by the way. I am getting rid of this Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is the shade 5. I think I just need a different shade in it. This one leans a little bit pink on my skin, and I can typically correct, there it is. I can typically correct anything that leans too yellow or too orange, but it's harder for me to correct something that is pink. So that is something, and yeah, you can kind of see it's pink. That's something that I can pass on to a friend that I know is that shade and enjoys that product. I have a couple of NARS palettes in here. I just don't use these. So I have a whole drawer of like multi-use face and eye palettes, which this one is, and I'm just like, I never reach for this. Because the whole idea of a good face and eye palette to me is that I can literally grab like maybe my mascara, my foundation and my brow products, maybe a lip gloss, and then just use the palette for everything else. And the shades in this were too deep for me to be able to do that. I had to incorporate other things, and none of the shades in here were so unique that I wouldn't be able to replicate them with other things that I own. So I'm gonna sanitize that and pass it on. And then with this, again, all the shades are too deep except for this one. They're very pretty, but then I also noticed when I was doing the Lisa Eldridge palettes, a lot of these kinds of shades were in the other palettes that I was using anyway, so I didn't really need that. So I have some expired products I will show you. This one is like so old. It's the Bobbi Brown. This is a Shimmer Brick and Nude Glow. I'll put the year that this came out up here on the screen. I mean, I used it a lot. You can see like a dip in it, but it's probably still okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I just found that that's everything swirled together. It was just too deep for me. So what I ended up using were these two shades. And I mean, those are still kind of deep. So the whole time, this whole thing was just too deep for me. And I think that's why I wasn't reaching for it a lot. I have some newer palettes. This is from Tarte. And I just don't like Tarte eyeshadows, I've discovered. And I think if you have oily eyelids, you're really going to like them because they are like that whole Amazonian clay thing. However, I find that they're too thick and almost chalky on me. And not like chalky as in like not good pigment, but it's like they're not like sheer and buildable. It's just pigment, and these get muddy very easily because of that. So nothing wrong with them, but it's just not a formula that I like. This little Naked Foxy palette, this color scheme is like a reduced sort of Anastasia Nouveau palette. I'm trying to dig it out for you. But I feel like almost all the same colors are in both palettes. Well, not in both. Like all the colors in this are in this. So I don't need this. Here's another Tarte palette, which I kind of just put my Tarte stuff in there last month. And that's why I was trying it out. Yeah. I liked the whole idea of like all the nudes. But yeah, it's just the formula. I don't like it. And I think it's because I don't wear full coverage like foundations and things like that. And I feel like those eyeshadows are full coverage eyeshadows. And so maybe I might like it if I were to wear more full coverage, but I don't know. You can kind of see, I like on my greasy hand here. Let's see. They're just very matte, full coverage. They don't look natural on me, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. I wanted to like these so much because I love RMS, and they did come out with some powder products, but the bronzer leans very red. You can even kind of see like around the edge where it's come. And since I am an olive complected person, red is the opposite of green. And this looks very red on my skin. I don't know why I just talked like that, but there it is. If it were maybe an eyeshadow, I might be able to go for it, but it just leans very red. If somebody has like more of a pink, like cool complexion, I think this might look good on them. It just didn't look good on me. It won't look as red. And then the highlighter, the luminizer that I got, it leans very gold, which again would look good on somebody who might be a little bit more pink. So I don't know, I'm gonna pass those on to somebody else. Same thing as far as having like pink in a bronzer. This is the Laura Mercier Ritual. And I just tried to make this work for the longest time. It's almost the same color. I mean, here we are. This is deeper, but yeah, they both are very pink leaning. And then this is expired. This is the Milk Makeup. I believe they make them smaller now. I just could not get through this thing before it went bad. It smells like Play-Doh at this point. So that's kind of how you know it's going bad. And it's not as creamy. I had to work a little bit harder, and I still try to use it for a while. I mean, it's still relatively creamy, but I probably shouldn't be putting this on my face anymore. So I did like it. I actually really liked the coloring. I just felt like it was time for me to give it up. So anyway, there are a few other things in there, but I think those were the things that you'll find most interesting that I'm decluttering. And I actually have like, you know, decent reasons for it. I think that might be helpful. So now we are going to, so I'm gonna wipe myself off, and then we're gonna go through my makeup in my drawers. So anyway, you've seen everything that I've decluttered, and I also forgot some of like the reasons as to why things go in the basket, and I have them written down here. One is I'm thinking about decluttering it, and so I just put it in there to kind of get like my final thoughts on it. So it's essentially like also my chopping block. And then anything that I've kind of been neglecting. It's been in my drawer, I bought it, I haven't used it. Why am I not using it? I'm going to throw it in there and kind of make myself use it and form an opinion on it. And then also another one is it seasonally appropriate? So there have been times when I've had like foundations that are several shades too dark, but I'm like, hey, I don't want to get rid of them because they're too dark. So in the summer, I will pull those darker foundations in. And then if at the end of the summer, I still find that some of them are too dark, then I just know they're just too dark for me in general, and I can go ahead and get rid of them. Same thing in the winter for the lighter shades. If there are super pale shades that I'm like, oh, it's too pale, it's too pale, it's too pale, at the end of the season, I will go in and get rid of those as well. So I'm not going to take you through drawer by drawer where you kind of see me digging around in them, but I did go ahead the other day and take pictures of the insides of my drawers. As I was like kind of moving things around and trying to organize them. You're not going to see everything because I do already have all my Tom Ford products and my Charlotte Tilbury products pulled out here to the side because I do plan on doing videos on those things. So I'm not even going to bother putting those in the basket because they're already in the cart, and there are videos upcoming on those. So anyway, let's go ahead and go through the drawers here and kind of think about each category and what we want to pull from them. Oh, and I forgot to mention, any new products that I get throughout the month, I automatically just toss into the basket to use and to try out. So I'm going to pull these 4 foundations. I am expecting like another foundation, and I will show you in an upcoming haul video. And so just anything in that haul video, you can assume it's probably going to go into this basket to be tested. But anyway, I am going to pull these 4 foundations. I already did a video testing this one, but I want to play around with it a little bit more. And this is the Chantecaille Future Skin. I want to test out this Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear. And then you will see in a video, I also did get the new Ultra Wear that's more moisturizing. So maybe I'll do a video comparing the two. And then also I want to try and do a video on this YSL All Hours. They recently switched the formula. I've never tried the old formula, but I did pick up this one to go ahead and give it a try. And then last year I did a full face video, which I will have linked here, but I did want to pull this out because this is pretty close to my winter shade. And this is the Dear Dahlia foundation in FN3. And I do want to pull out some powders as well. I'm going to test out this Givenchy Prism Libre powder. I want to test that out a little bit more. And then also this La Mer powder I recently got. I want to test that and form an opinion on it. And then I wanted to pull something that I haven't used in a while, and this is the Kosas powder. It's their Breezy Cloud Set. I think Breezy might be the shade, but it's their Cloud Set powder. So I went ahead and pulled that. So as far as brands, I'm going to go in really quickly and pull out all of my Phytosurgence products. I only have cream shadows and cream blushes. So here are my cream shadows. I have 5 shades. I have Amber Aura, Chilled Cherry, Wild Oak, Deeply Rooted, and Magnetic Maple. Yeah, you can kind of see them through here. I wanted to pull those because I do want to do a video here pretty soon. And then I'm also going to pull the blushes. And just kind of a spoiler, the blush shades are very interesting, and I actually appreciate that about them. And is that how many I have? Yeah, I have 5 blushes as well. So here all of those are. I have Singe, Exothermic, Smolder, Condensate, and Evaporate. Another brand that I want to pull items out for are nude sticks. So I did recently pick up during the Black Friday event. They had a sale on their website, and I did pick up a little kit. I think it must be like their Euphoria kit or something. I don't know, Euphorics. I have no idea. It had something to do with that word. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and grab their eyeshadow sticks that I already had to kind of compare to the new ones, maybe do a swatch video. And their sharpener is a must. I'm gonna go ahead and toss that in there because if you use any other sharpener, it kind of tears them up. And then I also wanted to use all of their face products. So I have a ton of these blushes. I'm a cream blush fanatic. And so every now and then I would just pick one up. The problem with with that is though, I've been neglecting those and not using them. And since I have so many, I'm sure that I could downsize. So I'm gonna kind of focus this month on, sorry, I'm still like digging around for stuff. I'm gonna focus this month on only keeping the ones that I really like and then passing the others on to somebody else. And then I also have 2 of their highlighter sticks and a bronzer stick. These look a little extra grubby. I do go through and I clean all my makeup with alcohol, but I had to stop cleaning the outsides of these nude sticks with alcohol because it was breaking down the paint on them, and that just rubbing alcohol did that. So I did just film a bronzer video, and the more I thought about it, this is something that I think should be on my chopping block. So I'm in the bronzer drawer now, by the way, and this is the Wayne Goss. And I just think that this gray is too gray for me. Not everybody needs to contour with gray. It looks awful on me. So I'm gonna see if I can make this work, but if I can't, I'm gonna pass it on to somebody maybe with a cooler skin tone where the gray just isn't clashing as much on their skin. This is in my blush highlighter drawer, even though it's a blush, and this is Heaven's Glow Blush in Baroque by M Cosmetics. I do want to pull this in and kind of test it and use it. And then you saw my most recent haul where I picked up a ton of MAC blushes. I want to go ahead and throw those in here and try all those out this month. So here they are. I'm not going to tell you the names of them. You'll probably see like in an upcoming video or maybe some get ready with me's where I'm kind of testing and using them. But I do just kind of want to play around with those a little bit. And then I have a drawer of what I call like my multi-purpose palettes. So these palettes are not just blush palettes or just highlighter palettes. They have like usually like blush, bronzer, eyeshadow, like kind of mixed in together in one palette. So I'm gonna pull a couple of those because I tend to buy them because I have the whole idea that traveling with this would be so convenient. But at the end of the day, I hardly ever travel with these palettes. So I do wanna pull some out and kind of see what I think about them. Okay, so I'm gonna pull out 3 that I've kind of been neglecting. The first one is this Laura Mercier blush and highlighter palette from a couple of years ago. I'm pulling a lot of blush, I just realized. So some of these blushes may like go into next month. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that in, see what I think about it. Then also this Natasha Denona little blush kit. I actually do like it, but it's starting to kind of get a little bit old, so I kind of want to get some use out of it. And then also this from last year's Natasha Denona holiday release. It's still available, but it's got eyeshadows, blush, and highlighter in it, and so I want to give that a try and maybe see if this is something that I can travel with. And I do want to pull some products for a holiday red lip because the holidays are coming up and I am planning on maybe doing a holiday video. And I'm also somebody who does not like to wear a lot of lipstick. Okay, so here are the lip products that I'm pulling to try to see which red lip works best for me. This is a mini lipstick from Dior, and this is the shade 999 Velvet. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in there. This is from Rare Beauty, and this is the shade Inspire. I have this Beauty Pie lip liner in Racy. I have this NARS lip pencil in Cruella. And then I have this ink velvet from Peri Para. This is a Korean beauty brand. And then I have this from Nude Sticks in the shade Royal. And then I have this, it's in the shade Cheeky Rose. Is that a red? This is like a blotted sort of red, but again, that might be my holiday. You know what? Let's put it on. Let's see here. Maybe this shouldn't be. This is very wearable. Okay, I'm gonna put this back in the drawer. And instead, I am going to pull this in the shade Seduction from Dear Dahlia. Hold on. Yeah. We'll try this one instead. Okay, and then I want to pull something from my eyeshadow palette drawer. So the main thing that I'm thinking about is the fact that I purchased these Hindash palettes and I've never really used them. So let me find where they are in here and kind of dig them out. Here they are. So these are the only eyeshadow palettes I'm pulling from the drawer because I know that I plan on doing a Dior video, and so I need to play around with some of those Quints before I do the video, and then also with the Charlotte Tilbury video and the Tom Ford video, and then I did get some palettes that I'm about to haul. So this is all I'm going to pull, and I've literally kind of swatched them and haven't used them. So although this one would be kind of good to pull in the spring, but these shades I guess are more my tone there. So I'm gonna grab these and play around with these. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed kind of going through my drawers and pulling everything out for the month. And if there's anything that I just stuck in this basket that you really want to see a video on, please go ahead and let me know down in the comment section, and I'll be sure to accommodate. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.